Okay, what's good, team? My name is Kokonut. Welcome to Kokonut Catchups, where I talk about things that matter to me and catch you up on my life, I guess, and share my thoughts and opinions on things. And today is a bit of a heavy video. I want to talk about what's been happening in Christchurch with the Christchurch shootings. Before I start, I want to send my condolences to my fellow Kiwis who have lost their loved ones in this crazy massacre, this terrible evil thing that's happened. And shout out to all my friends in Christchurch as well. Just pray that you guys will be safe and stay vigilant and watch out for each other. And that's one thing about Christchurch, that man, these guys have been through a lot and they know how to pull through it and are super resilient. Also, the Kiwi community coming together, I feel like that's just us, and we just know how to look after each other when things go bad and bad things happen. So it's so encouraging to see people supporting each other. And one thing I guess that is not cool is just going on Facebook and reading some of the comments on and YouTube, different videos, and it's really disheartening to see people that have that I guess don't really respect the fact that people died, and some of the comments that people will make aren't very tolerant. And one thing I should say is that I believe whatever you believe in, your own belief system, people should still be tolerant of each other, no matter where you come from and what you believe in. So it's a bit sad to see and read people saying particular things about what's going down. Very insensitive, and I hope that people will think about what they say more before they actually talk about it and write it out on Facebook and elsewhere. But yeah, thoughts and prayers go out to the people that are affected. I actually prayed about it after it happened with one of my friends, and I just pray that the people that are still struggling in hospital fighting for their lives, I just pray that you guys will pull through, and I also pray that good things will come out of this, even though it's a very terrible thing. And I pray that no copycat killers will come out, and I also, on the other side, that no retaliatory attacks will happen also. And yeah, it's such a surreal thing. When I saw it happen on the news, it feels like it's not real. I'm so used to watching this sort of thing happen in the States or in Europe, but to see it happen in your own country is super, very foreign feeling and very strange, and feels like it's not happening. But yeah, before I talk more, I want to preface this video, I guess, by saying that I don't mean any disrespect for anything that I say. I just think that talking about things is good, and that sharing our opinions and thoughts are good. Conversations don't have to be easy to be worthwhile, so I'm always open to people hitting me up and telling me that they disagree with me, because I think it's good to test your own opinions against the opinions of others, and it helps you grow. So so I watched the video. I don't know who else watched it, but it'll be interesting to hear what other people's thoughts were on the video. Maybe you can comment below. But I watched the video, and when I was watching it, I got an anxious feeling coming over me, feeling of dread coming over me, and it was very, just haunting. And so watching him, he gave a shout out to PewDiePie, and just for the record, just because this guy endorses someone else or says something that maybe supports someone else doesn't mean that those people support them. That's just, yeah. So for all those people that are hating on PewDiePie, he has done some pretty questionable things in the past, but I guess he hasn't, from my knowledge, called someone to do this sort of thing. So yeah, we can't equate one with the other. One person supporting one person doesn't mean that they support him. Anyway, so I watched the video, and he was also playing some music, and I'm sure it's like troll music, because I feel like this guy is a bit of a troll as well. He makes some sort of sarcastic jokes, I guess, in his manifesto. I read some of it, and he was saying that Spyro and Fortnite helped him to train him to kill, and yeah, the music he was playing, I feel like it has a significance to maybe people that run in his circles. And even in the courtroom, I feel he did like a sign. I feel like he's trolling, or I don't know. Yeah, he's just messed up guy, super messed up. So watching it, I actually stopped watching it because I felt like I didn't want to see this. It's feeling too, heavy. But then I talked to other people, and I found out that there were actually quite a lot of people that watched the video that I knew. So I went back, watched the video, and it was pretty terrifying. And you know what's going to happen, but you don't know how it's going to go down. But there was a part of me that I guess in my subconscious was like, I feel like I've seen this before, and it also felt like it wasn't real. And I actually think that's to do with how saturated, I guess, violence has become in we're saturated with violence in our culture, in terms of, I guess, like fake violence, movies and video games. And he shot it in a first person shooter perspective, and it just made me feel like, man, I've seen this before, because I've played lots of games like that before in that perspective, and I'm sure lots of other people have played it before too. And it just felt surreal, like it wasn't a thing that was happening. So yeah, it made me think about this distinction between fake violence and real violence, and with us absorbing all this fake violence is good for us. Imagine in the future when you can't tell the difference because the graphics are so good in a game that you don't know the difference between what's real and what's not real. And then you're playing all this virtual stuff, and then you get into the real world and you see something and you're so desensitized to it. And I feel like people got a little taste of that, because I know for some people that I talked to, they felt the same way. They felt like it was a game and it wasn't real. So I don't know what your thoughts on that are, and maybe that says a lot about our culture at the moment. But I don't think that video games create violent people. I still think people have their own choices and their own faculties to make good and bad decisions. And so yeah, but I do think it desensitizes you in some way. And watching this video, I don't know what this guy was thinking while he was doing this, but for him to attack people that are defenseless, men, women, and children, dude, he killed a 3-year-old, and that just makes my heart sink, because who does that? It's so sick and so evil, so I don't know, it's pretty heavy. It's a fellow Kiwi baby, and it just makes you really, really sad. So anyways, some of the other things I thought about was, if we shouldn't really be, I guess, watching so much fake violence, then is it good for us to watch real violence, like violence in general, because it's real life, and should it be censored? That idea of censoring things that are real. Should we be able to watch even the worst things about society. And I guess not everyone should. Definitely kids shouldn't watch that sort of stuff, and because they don't have the maturity yet to process what they're watching, which is why we have, censorship, I guess, classifications on movies and video games. But also there's that, the idea of we need to respect the families and the people that died, and also you don't want to embolden people that have the same thinking and ideology as this guy. So I don't know, what are your thoughts on it? Should we be able to view things like that, or should it be illegal? Watching that stuff isn't good. Also, this idea of Facebook not cutting it, the live stream faster. Maybe they could have. I don't know the full story on that, but if you're Facebook, it would be pretty. I feel like it would be pretty hard to monitor so much data coming up, and people are downloading, probably changing the names of the videos, sharing them. So to keep track of all that stuff might be pretty difficult. They said in a new segment that they got rid of 1.5 million videos in the space of 24 hours that were connected to that live stream. So I mean, that tells you the magnitude of their job. So it's not, I don't think it's as easy as that. Also this I guess idea of before I move on, actually I think you could also use the live stream against the attacker, and you could make it private for police only, and then they can know where he is at all times and act accordingly. The other idea is that I wanted to talk about is this idea that how come no government agency picked them up, or how could we let a guy like this walk around us and not know who he is? And that's, I guess, part of living in a society that we live in a free society where people can keep secrets if they want to, and the only way that you can I guess mitigate that is if you are surveilling your citizens 100% with every single thing that they do. And I don't know if people necessarily want that, but that's the only way that you can stop people from keeping secrets, is if the government knows everything that you're up to. So I don't think we should blame the government agencies too. Like, people keep secrets all the time, and they find ways of not showing their true colors, I guess. And this, I mean, and there's this whole thing, people say, how could we walk past this guy and not know who he is? And you don't know people for who they really are. We all have dark things in our hearts and our minds that we think about from time to time that we're not proud of, and this guy probably has more dark thoughts than most. And you don't know, you could have just walked past someone that's a domestic violence abuser, or you could have walked past a pedophile. You just don't know what's really in people's hearts and minds and who they are behind closed doors. So also this gun control debate, I think, is pretty interesting. I don't really have much to say about it because I don't know much about guns, but I do want to say that even though we have laws in place, it doesn't stop people from killing other people. And if we got rid of all the guns, people with evil intent, and people that want to act on those evil intentions will find ways of doing it, whether it's blowing something up or hijacking a plane, or this guy would have found a way. So just because we get rid of guns doesn't mean that it'll stop evil from happening. And it makes me think that maybe if someone just talked to him about, opened up to him and started talking about, how he really felt about things, that his mind or his heart could have been changed in some way. And I feel like that's the only way that you could have stopped this guy from doing this act. But I do see the reasons for why gun control is something that we should talk about. And I don't know. What did you guys think about the whole thing? I'll be interested to find out what you guys thought, and also my comments on it. Please comment below, let me know what you think. I'm not an expert on anything, so just my opinion, but Hope you guys stay safe. Shout out to everyone in NZ, and peace, love, God bless.